Okay, so did you get the materials out of Google Classroom?
Yes, I'm on one of the sheets where it says use the form menu to edit form. You will need to get this pre-fill URL.
So the order that I'm going to do them in is, well, the slides are just there for like taking notes.
Mm-hmm.
So you have edit access to that, right?
I believe so.
Okay. So, just as usual, just insert a slide to introduce yourself, say hi. I'm not sure how much I'm going to use that. I just like to have it just in case. Then
Right.
we have like notes. Then I can add them in there.
Yep.
There we go. So it said there were a couple of people who are going to join, but you never know. It's hard to, anytime's an awkward time. Nothing's good for everybody. So whatever. All right, so I have two computers. I'm realizing I can't screen share if I do them on that computer. So hold on, I'm going to make my own copy.
Not a problem.
The sample data. Come on. Load. File. Make it. No. File. Make a copy. Okay. All right. I'm going to screen share. Keep thinking like someone else will show up, and well, I'm sure someone will show up in a minute. Oh, there we go. See? Hey.
Okay. I might have to leave a little early.
No problem. And then I got sample spreadsheets in Google Classroom. Are you able to get those going?
Let me check. I opened it up, but I didn't really click on the.
That's fine. You can also just watch and like play with it later. So, but obviously, I want you to be actively engaged. I mean, you got to do stuff. You don't just watch. So later on, make sure you play with it. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So the one that we're looking at first is the first one that says number 93, formative assessment tips, sample data.
Mm-hmm.
So this is some fake stuff, not real email addresses and names and things, obviously.
Bob Saget.
What?
Bob Saget.
Yeah. This is what happens when you ask people on Twitter to help you fill out fake data. So the first thing I think is really important is that you know how to freeze the top row, because you'll notice as I scroll, like see here it says, these are the column headers. It says timestamp, student ID, first name, last name, email address. And as I scroll, I lose the column headers. Sorry about that. So what you want to do is over here in the corner, I call this the awesome box, where it selects all of them. If you hover right over above the column indicator or the row indicator, it turns into a grabby hand. I can grab the freeze bar and pull it down so that when I scroll, the top row stays frozen. You able to do that, Cody?
Let me see.
Cody, since you're going with the spreadsheet, it's all about you.
Okay, so I pressed on the, what is the magic box?
Oh yeah, the awesome box is left of the A and above the 1.
Okay.
And right above the 1, there's like a thicker bar that you can actually grab and pull down.
Okay. So let me see. No. Okay, so right above. Clicking on it.
You want to screen share?
Yes. Yeah. Let me close these.
Okay, I figured out how to do it on my tablet.
To freeze the top row?
Yeah.
Oh, tell me.
Well, I held my thumb on the 1.
Yeah.
And then little options came out, and you know the three little dots. I clicked on the three little dots, and it says freeze. So I clicked freeze, and then I'm able to move the boxes how you were moving them.
Awesome. I
I'm on it.
on my mobile. I don't usually create on my mobile, so.
Mhm.
All right, Cody, you got it?
Yeah, well, I'm on the box right now. I'm still trying to figure out how to.
All right, so I'm looking for your cursor.
Right here.
Okay. Okay, see, yeah, there you go. I think you got it. Let go.
Got it.
Ah,
Let go.
too far. Down. Ah! Okay, let go. You'll notice you have 4 of them.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Ah, too high. A little lower. A little lower. Right there. Let go. Let go. Yes. Now scroll. Now scroll. Just like go down the page.
Okay.
See? The first row stays.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So here is my second trick. If you want to watch and then do. My second trick is you'll notice that row 2 is I used a Google form and I I answered it first with the first name answer and the last name key. You see that? So this is my trick. When I use a Google form for a quiz, I answer it with first name answer and last name key so that row 2 is my answer key. So then what I want to do is I grab the freeze bar and I pull it down one more time so that way it's really easy for me to compare every student's answer against the answer key. All right, so see, Cody, how you do.
She said, move
Let's
it one more
pull
down.
down one more.
Okay. All right.
Let go. No, you got to click it and drag it.
Got it.
No, you have to wait till it's a grabby hand. So hover over between the 1 and the 2. A little higher. There you go. Like you move it 1 pixel and it like does bad things. Okay, let go. There, you did it.
Okay.
Okay, so now scroll and you'll notice that answer key is row 2 and you're able to compare everybody's answer to the answer key.
Row 2.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm doing it.
Super handy, right? On your tablet? I'm so impressed.
Yeah.
Woo, for the win. Okay, so my next trick is like some of this stuff while I'm grading it, I don't need it while I grade it. Right? Do I need their timestamp? Probably not.
No.
If you click on column A, or you hover on it, on the column indicator, you'll notice a little triangle shows up.
Mm-hmm.
You click on it and you just hide the column. You're like, yeah, I don't need that. While you're grading, do you need their student ID number? Probably not. So I just hide that. I probably don't need their email address either. Okay, so can you hide all the columns you don't need? There you go. Okay, so now let's use the horizontal freeze bar.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to move it over, or excuse me, the vertical one. I'm going to move it over so the first and last name are frozen. So you get it from the, it's the vertical freeze bar. I'm trying to think of how to describe this. Did you get it? Yep, looks like it. So if you scroll right and left, the name should stay in place. You're scrolling up and down. Scroll right and left. Down at the bottom.
Oh, what did I do?
You're good. Okay, wait. You have stuff that's... Okay, so you can't... I don't think it'll let... You can try it, but I don't think it'll let you hide if it's frozen. So say hide columns A, B, see if it'll let you.
Got it.
It did. So it used to be that they wouldn't let you hide and unhide and do stuff. sometimes having frozen rows and columns
Mhm.
won't let you do some things because they're frozen. So sometimes you have to like unfreeze them so you can do it and then freeze it back. Just be aware of that. Okay,
Oh,
so
okay.
okay, so my next trick. So I'm looking at column F, and I see from my answer key that the answer is red, right?
Mhm.
So I click on the little triangle-y thing, the drop-down arrow, and I go to conditional formatting. So with conditional formatting, you notice it color codes it. Oh, they're all green because it says, if the cell is not empty, make it green. Well, that's not what I'm looking for. So I click on cell is not empty, and I change it to text is exactly. The text is exactly red. Mark it right. So I can have it color code all the right answers.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to do that with column G. Oops. I'm going to make these a little skinnier because I don't need them that big. This one too. Okay, so column G, I'm going to highlight column G. And I already have conditional formatting open, but pretending that I don't. I'm going to add a new rule. And if the text is exactly chupacabra, green. Done. Right, so try that. It would help if I had the video showing my screen. So you have to do it correctly. Okay, so you want to highlight the whole column. You don't want to, you're working too hard, man. Click on column F.
Okay.
First go hit cancel on the right-hand side. Hit cancel on the right-hand side. Because you started this rule. Okay. Okay, column F is highlighted. Okay, now click on that and choose conditional formatting. Yeah. You just want to make sure the whole thing is highlighted. You see it goes from F1 to F1040 over on the right-hand side?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And then change cell is not empty to text is exactly.
Okay.
And then what color do you want it to be? So go to the little paint can and pick a different color. I like a bright color myself. I like it to stick out. And it's marking the right answer, so, whatever you want. Don't feel pressured.
Green.
That's what I would have picked.
My birthday's on St. Patrick's Day, so I figured I'd pick green.
Gotcha. Green's my favorite color. Hit done. And you can obviously do, if text is exactly what? You gotta type that in there. In the box. Right answer.
Green?
No, it's red.
Red, okay.
See, in F2, it's the answer.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it.
You see how handy that is?
Yes.
So I make a Google form, and then I answer it with the right answer, so that row 2 are the right answers.
Got it. Okay.
It's really good.
Done.
Yeah, hit done. Now do it again with G. Yeah, conditional formatting. Text is exactly. Yes. I'll raise in the Google Doc. Okay, good. Woo! And you can do that before the students answer. So I make the Google form, I answer with the answer key, and then I go in and I set the conditional formatting on the columns so that when they answer, the right answers light up.
Okay.
If there's ones like they said, what color is Red Riding Hood's hood, and they said green, like I'd be really concerned about them. So maybe I would want to conditional format, like, if anyone answers this answer, I need to make sure that I work with them. Like, they are super confused if they answer this. So you might color code it a different color. Like, if they get the right answer, put green. If they get the, oh my gosh, you gotta be kidding me answer, color it light red or something, and then you know who to go talk to. Just saying. Okay, and so then the third column where I have how much do you like this class, let's say I really want to I'm concerned, wait, everyone gave the same score. All right, I'm just going to put in a bunch of ones. Want to edit the data a little bit? This guy can be a 2. So, obviously I'm concerned about students who don't like the class, right?
Mhm.
So I'm going to click on column H to highlight the whole column. And then I go to the little drop-downy box. I'm going to do conditional formatting. And then instead of cell is not empty, instead of text contains or text does not contain, it's not text, it's numbers, right? So down at the bottom, it's got number things. So if text is less than, if text is less, or if the value is less than 3, color it light red.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and then I'm going to add a new rule. I'm going to say if the text is equal to 3. If it's equal to 3, make it, I don't know, yellow. Hit done. I'm going to add a new rule, and I'm going to do if the text is greater than 3, I'm going to make it green. Done. So that, the whole column is color coded now, right?
Mhm.
So it's really important what order you do this in, because as soon as it says, yeah, that's true, it stops checking. Like, it won't read the rest of the list. So if I drag, come here, if I drag this bottom rule to the top, they should all, wait. Value is greater than, that still works out that way. Dang it, I was trying to make a point. You do it like in order, where sometimes if you move it to the top, then all of them satisfy that condition and they all are color coded the same. Like, it just checks the first one, like, is it less than 3? Yeah? Then it won't ever even check to see if it's equal to 3, and it won't check if it's greater than 3. Like, it won't do the rules below it if it says yes. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
So the order you do your conditional formatting in matters. I have a bad example for that. So anyway, is that helpful?
Mhm.
Okay, so now what we're going to do is we want to make a pivot table. So what a pivot table does is it summarizes data. So, like, I want to know how many people picked Chupacabra. So what you want to do is you want to click on the awesome box. No, don't do that! I'm just joking. It doesn't work when you click on the awesome, so don't do that. Okay. So what you need to do is you have to manually highlight the columns. It just doesn't work when you click the awesome box. Like, that's way too many cells, and it gets mad. So you have to highlight all your columns. Let me check on them. Okay, yep, you highlighted them. Okay, and then you go up to the data menu, and you go Data, Pivot Table. This is like the best thing ever.
Data pivot table.
Yeah, I love pivot tables.
Data.
What a pivot table is going to do is you have to have repeating data. If you don't have repeating data, a pivot table makes no sense. So you know how I have you guys sign in every week using the exact same Google form?
Uh-huh.
So then I have your name a whole bunch of times. So I can now count up how many times you signed in. I can count up how many times you signed in late. Whatever. It allows me to summarize repeating data. So if it doesn't repeat, this doesn't make sense. So if you have the students just take a quiz, well, you can use it because you have repeating answers in the multiple choice. But if you gave them all free response, if there's all free response on a Google form, does anything repeat? When you look at the rows, you're in a whole column, each row, you have to have stuff that shows up more than once. Otherwise, a pivot table does not make sense. Okay, I'm going to go back to...
It's kind of like on the Quest. Isn't it like the record?
I have a pivot table on the Quest. That is a pivot table. Good observation. Okay, so over here on the side, it says Report Editor. So just watch me and then you do it.
Okay.
So if I click anywhere that's not the pivot table, do you notice the Report Editor goes away? And then I click inside of the pivot table and it comes
and then
back.
It pops up. Okay.
So it's easy to get it back. So even if you close it, all you gotta do is click again in the pivot table. It comes right back. And then here it says rows. And so you're asking yourself, what repeats? So you're looking back at your data and you're like, first name. Do I have repeaters of first name? No, don't pick first. But here on what color is Red Riding Hood's hood, you can see there's repeated pieces of information, right?
Mm.
So I'm going to say that my rows are what color is Red Riding Hood's hood. And so it just, what it does is it strips out all of the duplicates. And so it gives you a list without duplicates. Those are all the unique responses. Try it. You're not screen sharing anymore, so.
Here, let me go back to screen sharing.
Are you able to do that on the mobile device?
Well, I have the Puffin browser on here, so I can see everything. Like I don't know, it just occurred to me to open it and try the Google Docs on here, and now I have access to the like the data tab, the tools, format, insert.
Okay.
So I think it might let me do it now.
I'm sure you cannot do add-ons from a tablet, but they're making it so much better. It's like so much better on the tablet. It's almost really fully functional. It's getting there.
Yeah.
Are they changing it because of people's feedback with it? Or?
Well, yes, partially and partially because they're just, there's only so many engineers, so you can't put all the features at once. You just got to keep building it.
Right.
Okay, so you're looking good. And so the first thing is I think it's just handy just to do that sometimes just because I want to see the single list.
Mm-hmm.
Strip out the extras. But then what you want to do is come over to where it says values. I'm going to skip columns for a minute and come down to values.
Mm-hmm.
So values is what is it that you're going to either count, add, average, you want to do something with. So the truth is because I'm going to count it, it doesn't really matter what I count. I usually just count the timestamp, except I didn't highlight timestamp. So I'm just going to count up first name. Because honestly, for counting, it really doesn't matter what you count, so long as there's something to count. So if there was a possibility that they did not put their name in there, then it would have the wrong answer. It would have the wrong counts, which is why I like to usually use timestamp because they have no control over that and they have to put an answer in. So you'll notice what it says is I'm going to take first name and it says organize it by sum. Like, why would you add up first names? That's ridiculous. So you click on where it says sum. Like, what do you want to do with the information? I want to count A. The A stands for alpha, which means count alphanumeric, not numbers. Count is count numbers. Count A is count letters. So 4 people said blue, 5 people said green, 3 people said purple, and 29 people said red. Okay, you got it. It's good. It will be very helpful for you to say, I got it.
Sorry.
Okay, I'm going to highlight the blue, green, purple, red, and the values next to it, but not the grand total.
Okay. So
There's no recommendations. Okay. So then I want to go to Insert Chart. And if I insert chart, it gives me like graph recommendations. So obviously I'd like to have a pie chart. And so then I can insert a pie chart on there of my data if I want. But here's the best part. It live updates, so if someone fills out the form, then the pivot table will change and the chart will change. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, let's see.
So I'm a couple steps behind, but I just got to the highlighting, like the color red.
You highlight the data that you want to make a chart out of.
Okay.
And then you should be able to go to Insert menu, and you insert a chart, and then you have to use your critical thinking to decide what kind of chart is appropriate for this kind of data.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and so then if I click back on the pivot table, you'll notice what it allows me to do is I can choose columns. So that allows me to get bi-directional data or charts. So like if I were to be looking at suspension data and I want to know how many kids were suspended for how many days, but I want to break it down by ethnicity. So I would see the types of suspension is what I would do for my rows, but then for my columns, I'd want to break it out into, well, are they white? Are they Hispanic? Are they Asian, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't see anything about this data that makes sense to look at it a second way. Like, I can add columns and do it by what is the best animal ever. Let me get rid of this. Let me get rid of my chart. Ah! I got it all zoomed in, sorry. Delete. Okay, and one of the other things I like to do is when I do this is I resize the columns and I center everything because otherwise it's hard to read. Like, okay, so one person picked blue for one answer and they picked cat for the other answer. Like, why would I care about that? Like, that doesn't make sense to compare how they answered one question to how they answered another question. There might be some circumstances where that would be important, but probably not this one. So I'm going to go over here to columns and click X because that's not good. That's not a good chart. All right, so far so good?
Yes. Put a chart in.
All right, we're going to close it. File. Make a copy. I always name mine delete because I always do a lot of these demos, and then my drive gets really full. Okay, so you got it?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
on page.
So, okay, we've only been doing this for half an hour, so I would like to try and just keep it to an hour just to kind of respect your time. I think I scheduled it for an hour and a half just in case.
Mm-hmm.
If I had a lot of people, then I might need to help more people. So,
Are you guys on the new spreadsheet?
yeah, we're on the new spreadsheet. Are you able to open that one?
Yeah, I'm about to open it.
Says,
I had trouble doing the pivotal table on.
yeah, there's something I've never tried to do as a pivot table on mobile, so I would love to give you
Let me
some more
see.
advice on that. But when you get on a real computer, try it out because seriously, as a teacher, how many times do you want to know, like, how many students answered this?
Yeah, that's helpful.
How do you teach without that information? Counting it by hand sucks. Pivot tables just make your life so lovely. The fact is that you've got multiple people doing the same thing. That, by definition, you've got stuff that repeats all the time. Pivot table, pivot table. I love that. Okay, so I'm gonna hide this because let's go to the suspensions tab. It's the one at the end.
Grandma just asked you not to get up there.
Where is it?
Yeah, okay, good. Cody, you're in the right place.
Was I?
Now, Lilia is.
Yeah, I'm on it.
How badly did I butcher it?
Oh no, you got it.
All right. Okay, so first thing we do is freeze the top row.
Trying to get to it.
I thought you had it. Okay, there it is.
Okay.
Yeah, freeze the top row. Looks like you got that. No, that's me. I have that. Go over to the last tab, says suspension.
Okay. Got it. My little stop sharing tab was blocking it. Okay.
You're all good.
Okay.
Okay, and then freeze the top row. Nope, you got to go over above the one. Whoop, whoop. Good, good. Yes, yes. Oh. Pull it. Okay, good. And I did not, this is suspension data, so there is no answer key. So we only freeze one row and not two.
Okay.
Okay. So we're just going to make pivot tables out of this because I got all kinds of data. So let's pretend you're the district office and you've got a bunch of schools, you got multiple high schools that are suspending kids. So they all fill out a Google form to turn in that data. Okay?
Okay.
So first thing you got to do is you have to by hand highlight the columns. You cannot use the awesome box. Yeah, you got to get it higher. You got to do it from the You're only getting the first row? No, maybe you're not. Are you getting the whole column or just the row?
I believe I'm getting the whole. Oh, I got the row.
Okay. So you wanna here's a trick. Click on
Okay.
column A,
Okay.
hold down the shift key.
Shift. Okay.
Yeah, now go all the way, now scroll to the right so you get to the last column that has data in it. Whoops, it's okay, go back to suspensions. It's no. Suspensions.
Okay.
It's okay. Just scroll along the bottom until you get to the last column of data. Okay.
Okay.
Hold down shift and click on K.
Okay. Okay.
No, you typed K.
Okay.
Oh, escape, escape.
Escape.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so click, yeah, column A, hold down shift and click on column K. There you go.
Okay.
Oh, you didn't hold down shift. Now hold down shift and click on column A. So it should highlight all of them at once if you're holding down. There you go.
Okay.
Boom. Yes. All right, go to the data menu. Go to the data menu. And go to pivot table. All right.
I could use. Oh, I'm sorry. This is off topic, but I could totally use this as like a, what is it, like a shortcut, like on like for like a quest or something.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
If there's not any quests in there for this, let me know so that we can add it.
Okay.
So when you go on the right-hand side, it says rows and columns. Click on Add Field. And the report editor up a little bit. Add field for rows. And
Okay.
so those are all your column headers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you want to look for something. What repeats? Now, the first name of student might repeat because I have students who've been suspended multiple times. So that could happen. But what might you be looking at first? Would you be looking at type of offense, school site, ethnicity? Like, what do you want to summarize?
Probably like type of offense.
Okay, let's look at type of offense.
Mm-hmm.
Click on it. Good. All right, so what happened was somebody forgot to choose one and left the default option. Good for them. But they might have had at-home suspension, expulsion, or in-house suspension. Those are all the types of suspension.
Mm-hmm.
So go down to values. And so now we get to summarize one of these columns. So do you want to summarize how long they were suspended? Or do you just want to count up how many suspensions there were?
How many suspensions?
Okay, so if we're going to count, then you just need to count something. Do you want to count the timestamp?
Yes.
That's my favorite. So choose timestamp, and then instead of sum, you want count A. Yeah, that one. So now you see that 43 had at-home suspension, 28 were expelled, and 46 had in-house suspension, and we have 118 suspensions district-wide. So you see how quick and easy that is? Like how many times you just wanted to count everything in a list?
Yeah, that saves a lot of time.
Oh my God. Huge. Huge. Okay, so but then kind of like to know if they're maybe being a little racist, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so go up to columns. Choose add down in the middle. Down, no. Yes. And then let's go to ethnicity. Okay, so I want you to click on column B and hold down the shift key and click down column I. There, shift, column I. All those columns.
Okay.
Okay, can you resize one of the columns so it's skinnier? You got to get your, yep, Let's drag that over. A little more. That's good. Okay, now go up in the toolbar, center it. Use the centering tool. Buddy. Is it Bacon's turn to pick?
Yes, it was my turn to pick.
I think it is your sister's turn to pick. Oh, the crisis. He doesn't get to pick the TV show.
I,
Okay.
I wish that was my worries.
Alright, so just as a personal, like when I make a pivot table with the columns, I usually I select all the columns, and then I make them skinnier and I center them because it's just easier to read.
Uh-huh.
So now you can see you had 2 African American kids had at-home suspension. Maybe it was American Indian. 2 American Indian. Do this. Click on the row indicator for row 1. Row indicator for row 1. So then, nope, that's cell A1. You got to click on the one that highlights the whole row.
Got it.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, now up in the toolbar next to the centering, do you see it has 2 lines with an arrow in it?
2 lines.
More,
This one?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So
Oh,
click
text
the
wrapping.
downy arrow and do text wrap. Middle one. Yes. There we go. Now I can actually read that.
Okay.
So, right, you had 16 Caucasian kids that had at-home suspension and 18 Hispanic. By the way, this is all random data. It is totally meaningless. Literally said insert random numbers. Because, obviously, for obvious reasons.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to play around with real suspension data as false. So anyway, look how useful that is. Like, I can immediately break that down. So if you had some demographic information, like so you had on a quiz, you're like, how long did you study for the test today? I didn't study 30 minutes or less, less than an hour, more than 1 hour. Then you could break down their scores by how much they studied. That would be really interesting, right? Here's the trick. You can't filter it by a particular demographic unless you ask that demographic. So if you want to break it down by boys and girls, then you'd have to ask a question, are you male or female? So when you create your Google form, make sure you kind of like, well, how might I want to break this down? Now, it obviously is sensitive to look at things like race and gender, although sometimes you just want to check if you're fair.
Yeah.
So, back. So I'll do this one. So I'm going to data, pivot table. I'm going to do my rows. You did type of offense. Columns was ethnicity. And then values, I just like to count the timestamp. So let's make another pivot table. So I'm going to go back to the suspension tab. And it's still highlighted, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I just go data pivot table and I make a new pivot table. So in this case, I might still want, for my rows, I might still want to do type of offense. Right? But for my values, I want to know how long they were suspended for. So I'm going to choose length of suspension. Now, does adding up length of suspension tell you a whole lot? One kid was suspended for 50 days. Another, most kids were suspended for 1 day. And one school's bigger than another school. Like, does it make sense to just add up the number of days of suspension? Is that a really great piece of data?
Not really.
Not really. So I might want to change it from sum to average or max or min. Like, there's some other really good ways to look at that data. So on average, at-home suspension was almost 7 days. Now let's break that down by gender. So I go to columns and I go to gender. Remember, I highlight and I make them smaller and I center them, right? So I can see that girls were 6.8 and boys were 6.5. Okay, so I don't feel like I'm really being gender biased there.
Uh-oh.
That's pretty good. How are you doing with that?
Sorry, I was watching the entire time.
Oh, fine. That's really fine. Hey, Ray. It's fine. Do you want to try it? You don't have to.
Yeah, I can try it. Okay, so where do I go to pivot table again? Is it?
Yeah, so go back to the suspension tab
Okay.
and do data pivot report. You just got to make sure your columns are highlighted.
I believe they are. And then pivot table. And then... Where did we go again?
Then you just ask yourself, what repeats? Like I would never put timestamp for my row or my column because it doesn't repeat. So your column that you choose for row and your column that you choose for column is repeating data.
So
Something you can summarize.
length of suspension.
That length of suspension would be something that you would do for the values.
Oh, got it.
It
Okay.
goes in the middle. So what goes on the top and the sides,
Row.
things that you can summarize.
Types of events. No, we did that one already.
That's okay. Why don't you do school site this time?
School site. Got it. Okay.
Okay, so then those are all the school sites, and then go to values. I usually do rows and then values.
Okay.
Right, so it's like, okay, this is what I want to summarize, and this is how I want to summarize it, and then the columns is how I want to break it down. So you want to do length of suspension.
Okay.
Right?
And then go
So
to.
the alt ed had 80 days of suspension, but I'd rather see average. There we go. The average numbers of days of suspension, because probably the alt ed is smaller than the regular high school. So now, how do you want to break it down into subcategories? Go to columns. How do you want to look at that? By ethnicity or gender?
Gender.
Or special ed?
Or special ed.
Let's do that. Right, remember how to make them skinnier and
I
center?
believe.
Don't do A, do B.
B.
Yeah, start with B and then click on F.
Oh,
Hold down the shift.
got it. Okay. Shift.
F.
And then go to.
And then,
And then.
yep, do text wrapping.
Did I do it?
And then resize one of the columns. If you resize one column, all the ones that are highlighted resize.
Got it. Okay.
Better?
Yes.
Now do this. You know what? Look at how, click on the awesome box.
Uh-huh.
So click on the awesome box and then go up to where it says format. Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
And then go to number.
There is
That's
number.
the top
Oh,
one.
got it.
And then let's do get first number where it's only 2 decimal places.
This one?
Yeah. Try that. See how it just cleans it up?
Yes.
It doesn't
A lot.
values, it just makes it format nicer. It's if you do a math calculation, it does the math calculation on the actual number, okay?
Mhm.
So even though it looks like the other decimals got eaten, they did not.
Okay.
So formatting is a good thing when you have ugly decimals.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see that at alt ed, average special ed kid was 8 days, where the average non-special ed kid was only 6.5. That might be a concern. Maybe.
Yeah.
And look over here down, like the row 11, it says Daisy alt ed.
Uh-huh.
Average, not special ed, was on average 1.75 days of suspension, and if they were special ed, 10 days of suspension. Hello.
Yeah.
A little harsh on these kids. Like, you know, again, this is completely fake data. Like, 100% fake data.
There's a school named Getting High.
So I put this out on Twitter, and I let people fill in my form.
Okay.
So none of these are real.
You're fine.
Yeah. Again, that's why it's fake data. I'm just like, put in random stuff. Pretend you're suspending kids. Just a little fun with that. All right. So I hope that you can start using pivot tables because, like, for real, so useful. I use them all the time. Like you said on the quest list, we're just counting up how many methods, how many. Oh, hey, you know what? Let me show you one more thing. Is it showing me? Yeah.
Let me see. Yeah.
So down here it says a filter. So what I can do is, like, what if I only wanted to know this information for kids who are special ed? I go to add field, and I choose special ed. So right now, notice it's showing, it says special ed all items.
Uh-huh.
All the special ed kids are included in the data. So what if instead, I'm going to clear it. I'm like, yes, I only want it to pivot table it if the kid is special ed. So it's going to change all these numbers. Okay. Let me format these because formatting is good. Phew. So when it says 11.33 females had at-home suspension, I also know that that's 11.3, not number of, it's days, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is special ed kids. So I'm looking at this for only special ed kids, where if I change this, I go down to the filter. I'm like, okay, I don't want to know yes, I want to know no. So you can select. So now it changed it. So this is the average amount of home suspensions for non-special ed kids. So adding a filter was really good. So that's what I did on pivot tables. I said filter it for only if it's a method. Count up the number of X's if it's a method. And ignore the tech and ignore the badges data.
Okay.
So go back to, not right now, but go back to your quest list and then click on the pivot table, and then the report editor will show up. And now you can see how I set that up.
Okay.
Okay, so here's my question for you. It's optional. I did what I wanted to do, which was pivot tables and formative assessment, just some things that you could look at.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to see how to, so if you look at this list, pre-filled, how to make those names show up in a Google form so you don't have to type them?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so what we're going to do is, do you notice how it has a menu that says forms?
Uh-huh.
So when you have form, I want to edit the form. Now this menu only shows up if it's connected to a form because it has to be form data.
Let me see.
So if you just type stuff on a spreadsheet, there's no form menu.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to go to edit form.
I don't have that form button.
When you're on the pre-filled tab?
Yeah.
Okay, wait, let me look. Is that Ray or Cody?
That's right.
Okay, that's what
My
I thought.
mic's been on mute this whole time, so I'm like, I don't think anybody can hear me.
I haven't seen it too. Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah, I have the pre-filled.
Yeah, but does yours say form?
Let me see. Let me go to what you're on.
Does you have a form menu? So Cody, you seem to have it. No, wait, that's me. You're looking at mine.
Okay, so I'm gonna go for. Oops.
Yeah.
Where was I?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I don't have a form.
why do I have it?
Yeah, so it's like format, data, tools, add-ons, and help.
It's trying to like kill me here. Okay.
Let me see. Form response 2. No.
Is it because you created it?
Yeah, but so they changed this. They now have new Google Forms and whatever, and so things don't work the way they used to. So it used to be if you made a copy of form data, that it would copy the form. So mine's there, and when I clicked edit form, it opened up the form. Okay. Let me look back at yours. That's me. You're looking at mine. Look back at yours.
Where did I go? Okay, right here.
Yeah.
Pre-filled. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay, what happens when you hit tools? You can create a form.
We can create a form.
Okay, do this because I don't know what's going to happen. So I think you should first highlight columns A, B, C, and D. So click on A, hold the Shift key, click on D.
Okay. Okay.
This skill alone is going to help you out in life. That doesn't work just in Spreadsheet. That works on like everything. When you want to select a bunch of stuff, you click on the first one, you hold down Shift, and you click on the last one, and it gets all of them in between.
Yeah, that helps a lot.
Right, go to Tools, create a form. I want to see what happens. I'm like afraid. Great. It did nothing. Okay, so just make
Yeah,
this
it
up. Put
just
SID.
made one question.
Yeah, that is lame. So do SID. I'll read you what to put in them. So your first question is SID, and then you change the multiple choice to short answer. Yeah, first one.
I actually have to go already.
Okay, bye.
I'll try these out
See ya.
tomorrow.
Okay, let me know how it goes. Control Shift Enter. Control Shift Enter makes a new question.
That's cool.
You can also hit the little plus button on that floaty toolbar, but I like the keyboard shortcut. Okay, the second one is first name.
First.
Yeah.
Just like our login.
And then make it short, short answer. Yep, good. Now you can click the little plus icon, or you can Control Shift Enter.
I'll Control Shift Enter.
That was the right answer.
Makes it a lot easier.
You know what? At first it's slower to learn the keyboard shortcut, but then once you have it down, you make this stuff so much faster. And
Yes.
the one teacher that says, "I have all this extra time." Like, you need to just force yourself to learn keyboard shortcuts, just one at a time. Last name, and then Control Shift Enter. Email address. Okay, so then short answer. Make 3 or 4, just whatever bogus questions you want. So Control Shift Enter. Ask anything you want. Just make something multiple choice. Whatever. Make a couple of questions. I'm gonna look at Twitter while you do that, okay?
Okay.
I get behind.
Yeah, this is the first time that I've actually gone into Google Hangouts and connected to the actual Hangout rather than watching the YouTube video. I was wondered how people got on there from just the YouTube video, and then I finally just figured it out right now.
It's like the jump-in.
To that is you ask.
Yeah.
That's fine. I know. There's like a lot of things that's like it's hard in this format because I can't see everybody, and I know when I'm in class, whenever I give directions, people are like, click on what? And what do you do when you're at home and people are there on their home computer? Like I can't watch you use the keyboard.
Yeah, it poses a bit more difficulty. Then having myself on mute and talking to myself didn't help either.
Well, I've done that so many times.
To be fair, I talk to myself all the time, so.
True.
Okay, so I made a couple questions. Just random.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so okay, good. So stay there. Then come back and look at me. So, got it. Okay. So I have the same first questions, then I have some like rubric questions, whatever. So my sample here is where students would fill in their name and ID number, and they'd rate themselves, they'd grade themselves for their project, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I want to do is I want to go into, whoa, this is new. Okay, never mind. Okay, so I click on the 3 dots, and you do get a pre-filled link. This part is awesome.
Okay. Should I go there? Okay, so.
Go click on the 3 dots and get a pre-filled link. You'll notice what it does is it basically looks like it's the Google form, but what you're going to do is put in default data. So what I do is I put in capital letters, SID, capital letters, FIR. I'm screaming at myself. First, last, email. So what I'm doing is I'm answering them generically.
Okay, and then
What I don't want to default is I don't want to default the grade or the rubric scores. I want the students to fill that out themselves. All right, were you able to do that?
where's the 3?
Oh, mine's different than yours. I asked different questions.
Oh, okay.
So, but on mine, I'm leaving my questions blank. I just want to default the demographic questions.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Kind of.
Demographic questions are first student ID number, first name, last name.
Right.
So I put in some default text because what happens is at the bottom when you hit submit, you're not submitting the form. What you're doing is you're getting a link. Do you see this link?
Let me see. Sorry. Okay.
Okay, yeah, you want to copy that link. Okay, good. And then Control T, Control V, paste. So I don't know if you can see this, but do you see in the URL how it has last in capital letters and it's email in capital letters?
Mm-hmm.
So when I push enter, it opens up the Google form with that defaulted in there. So if I were to take the URL and change email into this is my email, and I have to do it with plus signs because you can't put space bars in. And notice when I push enter, it now, you see that? It now says this is my email. I'm going to come down to the end. You see where it says last name in the URL. So I'm up in the URL. Yo, homie. I make that my last name. Yep. And then it defaults yo, homie into the last name spot. So what's happening is when you get a pre-filled URL, it puts the default information into the URL.
Okay.
So the reason why that's significant, so you're gonna totally have to watch me on this. You ready?
Yes.
You have copied the URL to the clipboard, and so over here, what I want to do is if I paste that pre-filled URL, when I double click, you'll notice that what it has here is I can see the first and I can see the last and I can see email in the URL. Do you see that?
Yes.
That's why I like to do it in capital letters because I'm literally like screaming at myself. I'm like, it's right here! Okay, so when you want to put text in a spreadsheet, you when you have a formula, you do equals, and then your text has to be in quotations. So the thing that I do is I put equals, quotation, that link, and then a quotation because it's all text. Okay?
Okay.
So then what I want to do is I want to replace, and I should put this on the slides. I want to replace the SID. I don't want it to be SID. I want it to be 348520. I want it to be that guy's SID. And I don't want it to say first name. I want it to say Porfirino. And I don't want to say last name. I want it to say Walt. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to double click, and I'm looking for that SID. Now here's the trick. I need to end the text, so that's a quotation. And I need the cell, and I need to go back to the text. Is that right?
Okay.
So it's quotation, ampersand, ampersand, quotation. Say that.
Quotation.
Ampersand.
Ampersand, quotation.
That's what I do. Hold on, shift. Quotation, ampersand, ampersand, quotation. Because if I don't do all four of those at the same time, I will mess it up. I guarantee you I will mess it up. So let me zoom in here a little more. Do you see how after the quotation there's an extra ampersand that's just part of the URL?
Yeah.
So if I were to do it like one at a time, I would mess that up.
Right.
So I've got this, it's just like burned in my brain. Quotation, ampersand, ampersand, quotation. Quotation, ampersand, ampersand, quotation. So the quotation ends the text, the ampersand joins. So I go, so in between the ampersands, I click on cell A2.
Cell A2, okay.
So do you see how I've now got, instead of
Quotation.
C, it says put whatever's in cell A2 in there.
Uh-huh.
Then I'm going to go to first name. See where it says first really big?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't want to say first name. So I go quotation, ampersand, ampersand, quotation. And I put the cursor in the middle of the ampersands. Then I'm like, I want B2. I just click on it.
Oh, okay.
Whatever's in B2, stick it on there. And then I go to last name, quotation, ampersand, ampersand, quotation. And in there, I go and I click on C2. And where there's email, I do quotation, ampersand, ampersand, quotation. And then I got D2 in there. Did you see it takes that pre-filled URL?
Uh-huh.
I don't want any of those words. I want it to be what's in the spreadsheet.
Mm-hmm.
So now when I push enter, and I click on that link, notice it says Walt. The information from the spreadsheet is defaulted into that Google form. So I could share that link with that student, and it would be filled out for him, so he doesn't have to fill out his name and ID number.
Okay.
There's reasons to do this. So I'm going to do it one more time. I say equals quotation, paste the big ugly URL, quotation.
Uh-huh.
So don't forget to get quotations around the big URL. And then I look for where I'm screaming at myself, and I do quotation, ampersand, ampersand, quotation. Then I click in the middle, and I'm like, okay, that's supposed to be ID number.
So A3.
Yep. Then I find first, I go quotation, ampersand, ampersand, quotation. Put it in the middle. Click on B3. And then for last name, quotation, ampersand, ampersand, quotation. And I put C3. And then for email address, I do quotation, ampersand, ampersand, quotation. And I put, whoops, D3. So when I click on that link, it should put Jacqueline Welburn's information in there.
Oh, wow.
Mine is not doing that.
All right, look at what you got. What do you control? Are you on a PC or Mac?
PC.
Okay. Control plus, control plus, control plus zooms in. Control plus, yeah, control plus. Okay. So what you don't have is that at the very beginning you need equals quotation mark and a quotation mark at the end.
Oh, I see what's happening.
So did you have to... Oh, I'm sorry. Go on.
Okay.
Oh, no, I was doing this, and...
Here's something that's kind of a new feature. If you grab... You see you can't see the whole formula bar up above? You can actually drag that box to give yourself more room. Push, yeah. You're doing good. You're doing good. The only problem is that you need a quotation at the very end of your URL. Yeah, right there. Quotation. Okay, good. All right. All right, push enter. Okay, test it.
There we go. Okay.
Yes!
Mm-hmm.
All right, control W. All right, now do it again. So put equals, quotation, paste, quotation. Dang it.
So did you have to do like a similar type of link type of thing for like our evals and like how we had to go and like comment on each eval?
I totally did that.
Okay.
So if you go back and double click, look at my formulas. If you double click on a cell, you can see the formula.
Mm-hmm.
You should totally do that. How are you going to learn new things is you just, deconstruct what somebody else did.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I see you already figured out the copy down. So I'm going to show you one more trick, smarty pants. Okay, so as he figured out is that there's a fill down square, and if you just pull it down, it automatically, so here I'm at Tammy's, and I click on her link, and it fills it in for Tammy. Because I'm not editing that formula 100 times, I just do it once. So I just look for that, let me control plus, I look for that blue square in the corner and I drag it down. But this still looks hideous, right? So what I'm going to do is in the cell next to it, I'm going to put equals hyperlink, open parentheses, let me zoom in, equals hyperlink, so take that hyperlink, comma, quotations, click here, quotation. All text strings always have to be in quotations.
Mhm.
So you guys see the formula?
Yeah.
So I push enter. Now it's just a, you guys have seen me do that,
Oh, wow.
right? And I drag that down, and that looks way better.
Oh, definitely.
Can you do that again real quick? the
So hold on just real quick.
Yeah.
You guys notice, I've done this for you a bunch of times, right? Do you ever see the big, long, ugly link?
No.
No, because what I do, I'm going to double click. I'm at the equal sign. Do you see how my cursor is in front of is after the equal sign but before the quotation? So I type hyperlink, parentheses. Instead of hyperlink the other cell, I just smash it all together into one formula. So then at the end I do comma, quotation, click here. You guys see what I did?
Yeah.
Enter. And now it's just click here to begin with. And like I can just cut out the middleman. Okay, so let me show you how I did that again. So if I'm in this F20, I put equals hyperlink is my formula. So equals hyperlink, open parenthesis. Where's the hyperlink? Where's the hyperlink? It's in E20. I click E20. So 2 ways to do this is I cell reference, I'm like the hyperlink's in E20, use that one. Or I actually put the hyperlink in there. The quotation and the whole hyperlink. And I'll show you how I did that again. And then you comma, and then what do you want it to say? El chupacabra. And whatever you want it to say, and that's what it'll say in the cell. So it's hyperlink is the URL, comma, what you want it to show.
Okay.
So if I have so what I will usually do is I'll do this nonsense first where I just paste the formula. I go equals, quotation, URL, quotation. And then I make it work. And then I edit it where I put the cursor after the equals and then I type hyperlink, parenthesis. So it's going to hyperlink that URL. Then come down to the end, comma, click here. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So because I'm doing 2 steps in one, or more than 2 steps in one. I'm doing 2 steps in one. I find it easier to do the first step is just make the URL work. You know, with the cell referencing the A21, the B21, the C21, and the D21.
Mm-hmm.
I do that. And then I'm like, okay, that part works. Now I'll add the hyperlink because there's 2 places I can make a typo. And so I can troubleshoot it better if I know for sure the hyperlink is good, right?
Mm-hmm.
I click enter, and then I just drag that sucker down. You'd be surprised how handy that is. Now that you know you can do it. So for peer evaluation, it's super handy. So you guys saw how I did that with you guys today? Did you like that?
Yeah, definitely.
Did you see how much stuff I pre-filled? It pre-filled your name, your ID number, your email address, and it filled out every single team member's name and every single team member's email address. So that what I'm going to be able to do is I'm going to run a pivot table. I'm going to summarize everybody's evaluations, and then I have your whole email. So I'm going to run a mail merge. It's going to just email you your peer evaluation data. It will. Okay, it's probably going to take me like an hour to do all of that, but
Right.
would
But
you
it still saves a lot of time.
without normally? Like it would
Right.
it'd be such a big task, it'd be impossible. You're just like, I can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I encourage you to go back to, what is it, number 84, the peer evaluation spreadsheet,
Yeah.
and just double click on my cells. Like look at my formula, see if you can kind of pick them apart a little bit. Not gonna lie, it's kind of manly. You know, if you want to put something together like that yourself, you need to practice a little more. But I have a template I have a template if you want it, where it just automatically does it for you.
That'd be awesome.
I think because it requires that you're making a copy of the spreadsheet, which might. I'm a little concerned about the Google form being copied. So anyway, all right, good.
Yes, definitely. It was very helpful on the shortcuts. Definitely.
Yeah,
So.
good. That's really the way. But play around with pivot tables anytime you have anything that if you have a Google form where it's multiple choice, like I can run a pivot table on that.
Right.
Okay. Nice.
All right. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thanks.
Good night.
See ya. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too.